played yesterday, Senegal also booked their place in the FIBA World Cup after beating hard-fighting Benin Republic by a lone goal. And Nigeria's next opponent in the semi-finals of the CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt will be the winner between Gambia and South Sudan later today. Good morning once again. Daniel Ekore is with me in the studio this morning. Daniel, you are welcome.
Good morning to every sports fan watching right now. It's always a privilege to be here to analyze sports and do justice.
Yes, the Flying Eagles. It's been a jubilation since yesterday, since they performed the wonder yesterday. Though, to many followers of their performance so far, it has not been something to write home about, But there's always an opportunity, to rejig the team after booking a place at the World Cup.
Very true. So far, in this competition, the Nigerian side have not really had the best of runs, but they've been lucky to be able to, secure a place in the next round of the competition. Talking about this semi-finals, the Nigerian side were also lucky yesterday to secure that own goal in the 26th minute, which saw them, give them an edge over their counterpart. And it's more or less like a call for the Nigerian side and also the Nigerian coach and all the other individuals
the technical
crew involved to do the necessary, because we've been winning by just long goals. Most of the time it's just 1-0.
Against Egypt, 1-0. Except against Mozambique when we scored 2 goals.
2 goals, yeah. So it just shows that there's been a kind of lack, or they've been kind of slow in terms of being decisive in front of goals. And yes, that is not a good way in terms of winning this prestigious competition. So the Nigerian side has to put in that required effort that is necessary for them to move ahead and also clinch the title, because the teams that are also in this competition, such as Senegal, who won their
first game against Nigeria 1-0 and won yesterday against Benin Republic.
True. So you see, they need for the Nigerian side to be serious with this competition, because if they want to win this competition, they have to be able to edge past these remainder top teams that are part of the competition, and the coach needs to do the necessary for them to move ahead. And this competition give them an opportunity to be able to compete at the World Cup, which will be slated for May in Indonesia. So it's also a call for the Nigerian side to be more serious in terms of going into this particular competition. That's the AFCON competition, the 20 AFCON that they are playing, and also propel them into the World Cup, which will start in May. So hopefully, the Nigerian side is able to progress and hopefully clinch this title.
Hopefully. But Daniel, you don't depend on luck, to win all your matches.
True.
You have to be clinical, in front of goals, and.
That's what
if every team continue to bank on luck, to win, luck may elude Nigeria.
Hopefully it doesn't elude us this time around, because it's not been easy for the Nigerian side. But then one thing I've actually seen is that these players have everything that they need at their disposal. So there's really no excuse for failure at this particular point in the competition. You are very close to clinching the title, and any slip up, any minor issues would cost you a place in terms of being at the finals and winning the title. So they need to go back to their drawing board and make sure, I stand by my word saying, make sure that they put in that necessary effort. All their tactical plays and all the setup of the team needs to be in check for them moving into the next round.
Yes, their next opponent will be the winner of the match. Today's quarter-final appearance between Gambia and South Sudan. Those are not too relevant names when you talk of African football. But these days, there's no minors, no pushovers in football.
Sure.
Gambia qualified for the semi-finals I mean, for the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
That is why they will be playing today. Also, South Sudan. So, looking at anyone that qualified to play Nigeria in the semi-final, would this be as easy as ABC?
It won't be easy. Let's not say it. And like you said, there's no pushover or walkover in terms of a competition such as this. For any team that's currently playing right now in this competition has shown that they have what it takes, in terms of competing rather in this competition. South Sudan, not so great of a footballing nation. Gambia is a football nation, but they've been having itches and setbacks over the past few years and other competition. So, if any team is going to win today, it's going to be by sweat and blood. They are going to fight on the battleground, which is the football pitch, and find a way ways as many as possible to secure goals. And they don't need just a goal. If they can secure a goal and hold the game all through the old 90 minutes of the match, any of the team that is able to score will be moving on to the next round to face Nigeria. So any team that will come out on top in tonight's encounter, which will face Nigeria, it's not going to be a pushover for Nigeria as well. Nigeria still has to do, he has to put in the work in order to, try as much as possible to get the desired results.
Yes, it's going to be sweat and blood.
Sure.
Well, all the 4 semi-finalists at the ongoing CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations will secure automatic ticket to the FIBA Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia. So Senegal and Nigeria have secured 2 of the tickets, and the 2 remaining tickets will be decided today. And let me inform you that only 4 teams will be participating in this year's edition of the Osun FA Cup. Yes, only 4 teams will be participating, and the pairings shows that Osun United will be taking on TSI Football Academy in one of the 2 pairings that will come up on the 26th of this month. Yes, Osun United against TSI Football Academy. While Ibajo United, who will be representing Osun in the NLO Nationwide League tournament this season, will face Faz Omar Football Club. Both matches will come up on the 26th of this month at the Osogbo Township Stadium. And away from Nigeria, let's look at what is happening in the globe generally. The first leg of the semi-final match of the Spanish Copa del Rey was played yesterday, and Real Madrid, playing at home, lost 0-1 to Barcelona. And this makes the second leg, which will be coming up on April 15th, very difficult for Real Madrid.
Yes, you have a point there in terms of the second leg, which is going to be a very, very enthralling match between these 2 giants of Spain. For Real Madrid, they got really unlucky.
Of course,
yesterday.
It was an own goal.
It was an own goal. They got really unlucky yesterday, by conceding that own goal, which gave Barca the edge over them in that encounter. And I'm very sure Real Madrid wouldn't have want to lose in their home front. They would have wanted to try as much as possible to secure their home front and keep it under lock and key. Then probably go to Camp Nou and try and pull out something spectacular. But for them, it was tears. The Barca side left the Real Madrid side hanging by edging past them in that encounter. And the second leg is going to be one where they will fight to the finish. One team has to,
using your word, sweat and blood.
One team has to progress, into the finals of this competition. So either way, any team that moves ahead in this competition, they actually do deserve it, having come a long way, over the past few months, playing different games and all of that. So if one thing about Real Madrid is that they have a way of pulling out surprises and comebacks. So Barca, I'm very sure Barca.
Real Madrid, they have not been spectacular this season, most especially in the La Liga.
True, yes.
La Liga.
Barcelona currently, holds the top position with over like 10 points.
10 points.
Difference. And well, Real Madrid, when it comes to competitions, head-to-head games like this, they tend to bring out a whole different fire and a whole different ball game. So I'm very sure the Barcelona side are not confident and are not, at ease right now with this one goal, win or edge over the Real Madrid side, because it's something that that can be easily be equalized, and it's going to be an all-enthralling encounter at the end of the day. So in the next encounter between these two Spanish giants, it's going to be one that the world will want to see, and hopefully the best team comes out on top.
Hopefully the best team will come out on top. And let's look at the result of some other matches played yesterday in the Dutch Cup, known as KNVB Beker. Yesterday, PSV defeated ADO Den Haag 3-1 yesterday, and Ajax Amsterdam, playing away from home, defeated OMAV. They grabbed 0-3 yesterday. And in the Belgium club, Royal Antwerp were 1-0 better than Union Saint-Gilloise yesterday. And some matches will come up today. In the Spanish La Liga, Real Sociedad will be at home against Cadiz today. In Serie A, table topper Napoli will be at home against Lazio today. And our own Victor Osimhen will be in action, hopefully, for Napoli when they took on Lazio today. In the Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund will be at home against RB Leipzig today. And in the Ligue 1, French Ligue 1, Nice will be at home against Austria today. In the Dutch League, Utrecht will be at home against Fortuna Sittard today, while Vitesse will be at home against AZ Alkmaar today. And let's look at what will be happening in some of the 5 top European leagues tomorrow. In the Premier League, Manchester City will be at home against Newcastle United tomorrow. And Arsenal, who are currently topping the league, will be at home against Bournemouth tomorrow. And Aston Villa will be at home against Crystal Palace tomorrow. Brighton against West Ham United. Chelsea against Leeds United. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow, and Southampton will be at home against Leicester City tomorrow. Daniel, Manchester City against Newcastle United. Newcastle United are currently 5th on the table with 41 points. Manchester City are 2nd with 55 points. 5 points adrift of league leader.
Well,
Arsenal.
In the last 5 games played by Manchester City, they've been able to record 3 wins and 2 draws. While for Newcastle United, they've been a very, very slow and unimpressive last 5 games for them, with 2 losses, 2 draws, and recording just 1 win. And for this encounter against Newcastle and Manchester City, Newcastle. Let's not override this Newcastle side. They have what it takes, for them to, beat Manchester City. They have the players, but then Manchester City side are more like a super elite team of footballers, where you see, every player already understands their roles in the team and knows what to do. They are clinical in finishing. The midfield is on point with Kevin De Bruyne leading. Their defense is superb.
Watertight.
Yes, it's watertight. And for Newcastle, they have very good forwards. They have good players who run on the flanks and try as much as possible to get the ball into the box 18 to try and secure the goal. But then, for a Manchester City side, you have to pull out every surprise that you have and throw it at them, because this Manchester City side wouldn't relent when they see an opportunity to take a chance on goal. So I personally would see Manchester City edging past Newcastle in that encounter.
And Arsenal, would they be able to extend their lead on the table by 3 points tomorrow when they host Bournemouth.
Yes, definitely. The Arsenal side they are on a rampage right now. They are moving far and far ahead of most of the teams in the Premier League, edging even Manchester City by 5 points. That is a lot, in terms of when you know the history of Premier Leagues and all these top competitive teams. Arsenal would be looking trying to add another 3 points to their tally and see how they can clinch the Premier League, because that's what their eyes is set on this season, a way to clinch the Premier League title, which will end years of drought. The Arsenal side has been ruled out in the Premier League as that team that would not be able to win the Premier League for a very long time. But now the Mikel Arteta is changing the whole scenario of the game. He's changing the whole scenario. He's making these players aware of the fact that you can actually claim this title. It's just not so far away from our grasp, but we have to do everything within our power to be able to get to that point and bring glory to the Arsenal side. So for Arsenal, it's going to be a good one. So far in their last 5 games, they've had 3 wins, 1 loss, and just 1 draw. While for Bournemouth, it's been a very disastrous run for them. It's 2 losses, 2 draws, and 1 win. So I see Arsenal edging past Bournemouth yet again in that encounter.
Chelsea against Leeds United. With tomorrow's match determine the fate of Graham Potter.
Well, Chelsea right now, throughout this season have been terrible. They've not really had the best in terms of trying to secure the necessary points for them to move ahead. And one thing that I've also noticed is that if Chelsea are not careful, they would not even be playing in the Europa League. They'll be playing probably in the Championship. And a team of such standing and caliber, such as the Chelsea Football Club, is not supposed to be like that. Graham Potter has been given countless opportunities to try and bring the club back to the situation where they can be winning and even at least get them to that Europa stage point. But it's been difficult, where they've been fluctuating between 9th position and 10th position for the past few weeks now. And even in their last 5 games, we've seen Chelsea has had a really bad run with 3 losses and 2 draws, while for Leeds United they also had a bad run with 3 losses, 1 win and 1 draw. So the game against Chelsea and Leeds, I probably Chelsea can pull something out of the hat, but I'm not really optimistic that Chelsea might win this one.
Well, there are 2 coaches in line and the running to take over from Graham Potter if he is eventually sacked tomorrow, if he fails to win tomorrow's match. Zinedine Zidane and Luis Enrique.
Well, as at yesterday, there are many speculations on various coaches that were put up in line for the coaching job of Graham Potter. One of them was Brighton's coach as well, and now we are seeing Zinedine Zidane, and we're also seeing Luis Enrique. When I was on the program the other day, I told the anchor that Chelsea needs a disciplined coach, a coach that is decisive and knows what to do. This is a star-studded team, and as a star-studded teams have you see players tend to act on their own will and do whatever it is that they feel like, because they feel like they are stars and they are integral to the team. But Chelsea right now, they don't need a coach that is going to be lenient with these players. They need a coach that is able to stand his ground and make it known to them that this is Chelsea and we need to go back to our glory days, go back to our winning ways. Zidane sounds like a good fit for the teams, given his record and given the things that he has achieved over the years, even as a coach at Real Madrid and other teams. So, well, and for Luis Enrique, he single-handedly took the Atletico Madrid side. At one point, they were regarded as one of the biggest teams in the La Liga And even still now, the impact of Luis Enrique is still felt in Atletico Madrid. So for Chelsea, I feel like they still need to. There are still going to be other offers on the table. But then I see these two coaches, they have something to offer, and Chelsea just needs to be able to capitalize, and hopefully Graham Potter is able to retain his job by doing the necessary, that's bringing the team back to their glory days.
And let's look at the pairings tomorrow in the Spanish La Liga. Getafe will be at home against Girona tomorrow, and Almeria will play host to Villarreal tomorrow. Mallorca against Elche tomorrow, and Atletico Madrid will be at home at the Metropolitan tomorrow against Sevilla. And Barcelona are still topping the Spanish La Liga after 23 round of matches with 59 points, followed by Real Madrid with 52 points. So 7 points separating the two sides. In the Serie A, Monza will be at home tomorrow against Empoli, Atalanta against Udinese tomorrow, where Fiorentina will play host to AC Milan tomorrow. Napoli are still topping the Serie A after 24 round of matches with 65 points. 65 points, followed by Inter with 47 points. Is Napoli a runaway Scudetto champion this season?
Most definitely. They are looking forward to clinching this title, and they're very close to winning this title. And probably Victor Osimhen crowned as the top scorer for this season. The points between Napoli and Inter Milan is just too outrageous for them to come back. 65-47 is just too much. Almost like
17 points. That should be 17-18 points.
18 points. That's a lot. That's a lot given the amount of games that are left to be played. And I'm very sure the Napoli side wouldn't want to relent in terms of losing games.
If they lost 18 points and they're allowing the time to catch them, Mario will not be happy with them. I'm very sure of that. And let's look at the players in the Bundesliga. Augsburg will be at home tomorrow against Werder Bremen. Bochum against Schalke 04 tomorrow. Borussia Mönchengladbach against Freiburg tomorrow. Mainz 04 against Hoffenheim tomorrow. And Union Berlin against FC Cologne tomorrow. Stuttgart will host league leader Bayern Munich tomorrow. And let's look at some other news stories before we say bye on the program. This morning, Victor Osimhen will not let his Premier League ambitions prove a distraction to his objective of firing Napoli to the league champions this morning. On that note, quickly.
Well, I also think that Victor Osimhen can try and finish this season and try and make sure his name is heard and is known across various leagues in Europe, and then by next season can now start thinking probably he wants to remain at Napoli or looks for a future somewhere else.
On this note, we say bye on the AM Sport from OSBC Television. I want to appreciate Daniel Equeri for being part of the production this morning on behalf of the entire studio hands. Muhyiddin Adeleke remains the producer of the program. My name is Adeyemi Aboderi.